Cove is where it all started on the peaceful side. More than 100 years ago, before the Great Smoky Mountains National Park was created, many families called this valley home. And long before that, the indigenous Cherokee people traveled through these beautiful hills, hunting the wildlife that is still abundant here today. So inspired by Cades Cove that I've written many tunes about how special it is, and I'm even learning to drive on the Cades Cove Loop, an 11-mile one-way lane encircling the valley that offers access to hiking trails, riding stables, historic home sites, and picnic areas that draw thousands of visitors each year. You can also see original churches, just like this one, on your tour of the Cove. Like the bluegrass music that I play, Cades Cove is rooted deep in Appalachian tradition and defined by the link between the past and the present. Spend just a little bit of time here on your next visit, and I bet you'll be inspired too. Here's something you might not know about me. Although I've usually got my mandolin in hand, I'll occasionally put it down to pick up a rod and reel. With over 700 miles of free-flowing water in the Smokies, you could bet the fishing is awesome. From rainbow and brown trout to brookies and even smallmouth bass, this is an angler's paradise. My friend Charity Rudder has been fly fishing the Little River and the streams of the Smokies for many years. What makes fishing in the Smokies so special?
So the Great Smoky Mountains is just a beautiful national park. We have close to 1,000 miles of wild trout stream that hold rainbow trout, brown trout, brook trout, and it's open year round, so people can come here and fish anytime they want.
What's the difference between fly fishing and other types of fishing?
So fly fishing, we're imitating the bugs that actually live in the water. The rivers are full of aquatic insects, and that's what the trout eat. The bugs are so small, you can't really stick them on a hook. And so fly fishing was created by making the flies out of fur and feathers and string so that it imitates a bug on the surface. Yeah. That way you're fooling the fish into eating something that actually looks like the bugs that live in the river.
Is there any special equipment visitors need to fish here?
So in the cooler months, it's much more comfortable if you have waders and boots. We always prefer the felt boots because our rocks are so smooth and so old that the felt boots make it a lot easier to move through the river without falling down. And then the fly rod, I like a longer rod. It just depends on the size of water you're fishing and what kind of fish you're going for. In the national park with the smaller fish, a 4 or 5 weight rod is perfect.
So are there any special regulations here in the park or in just Tennessee in general?
Yes, there are regulations in the national park. You can keep fish, they have to be 7 inches or longer. You can keep only 5, but as a fly fisherman, we typically practice catch and release.
Is there anything else that visitors should know if they want to fish the Smokies?
Gosh, I would just say slow down and take it in. I think the beauty of fly fishing is that you're really experiencing this area and the national park from being in nature, not just looking at it. So when you're in the river fishing, you really just become part of that whole scene, and it's just a great way to experience the Smokies.
Well, thanks so much, Charity. Let's go catch some fish.
Sounds great, let's go.
There's a whole lot of music in these mountains, and the best place to hear it is hiking on one of our dozens of trails. Listen closely. It's Nature's Symphony, the rushing water at Abrams Falls and Ace Gap, the rustling leaves at West Prong, the gentle wind on Rocky Top, and the song of the warblers right here in Tremont. Can you tell us what makes Tremont such an integral part of our ecosystem here in the Smokies?
Yeah, I would say that Tremont is emblematic of the beauty of the Smoky Mountains. And we've got the river that runs through the valley and the mountains that surround them, the forest communities, and it's just such a place where you can see the wonders and beauty of these mountains that are just in our backyards.
I know these woods are home to a ton of incredible wildlife, but I know it has the largest population of a certain amphibian. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, that one of the nicknames for the Smoky Mountains is the salamander capital of the world.
Yeah.
And that there are more species of salamanders found here than can be found in other places, and certain species can only be found in these mountains, no place else. Part of that is to do with the habitat. There's so many miles, thousands of miles of little streams like this, and they're just right under our feet.
If all the salamanders were weighed together, they would weigh more than all the mammals in the park.
Yeah, at some point, somebody's determined that the biomass, the living mass of all the salamanders, weighs more than the living mass of all the black bears in the park.
That is crazy.
Yeah, and so many different species. And here at Tremont, we've been studying salamanders as a part of our programming. Been doing that for decades.
Let's go find some.
Yeah.
Whether you're an expert hiker or just want to spend some time strolling the trails and listening to the sounds of nature, the peaceful side is exactly where you want to be. Like most kids, I've gotten to experience some of my best times on the back of a bike. Here on the peaceful side, we've got amazing mountain bike trails and miles of greenways to conquer on two wheels. V Hollow has 14 miles of completely free mountain bike trails. From the skills area to the jump trails and up to the mountain trails, it's the kind of place where you can pedal into nature, find adventure, and take your mountain bike skills as far as you want to go. Scott and Ben are in charge here. I'm here with Scott today, and they will make sure your adventure is everything you'd hope it would be. How do visitors access the trails here at V Hollow?
The trails are accessed through a bridge right behind Burgermaster that leads you over the river and onto the property where the trail system is.
Awesome. Do you need to bring your own bike, or do you guys provide bikes?
We offer both electric and non-electric mountain bikes for rent, but you can also bring your own bike and ride at your leisure.
When is the best time of year to go biking in the Smokies?
The beauty of the Smokies is that you can really ride here year-round. However, the best time to ride is the spring and the fall.
Can you teach me some jumps?
Absolutely, that's what we got the jump zone for.
Let's get out there and try it. You ever heard the old saying, proper planning prevents poor performance? That could not be more true than in the Smokies. With all the different outdoor activities we've got, you'd better come prepared if you want to have the best experience. And don't worry if you didn't pack everything you need. We've got you covered from clothing to supplies to souvenirs. Your first stop should be SMOC, the Smoky Mountain Outdoor Center in the Apple Valley Mountain Village. They specialize in outfitting adventures and sell some of my favorite brands. If you're looking for something a little less outdoorsy, head on over to Townsend Mercantile. My mom loves their seasonal stuff and all the local products they have. I'm a big fan of the snacks myself. And don't forget to bring home a piece of the Smokies for your friends and family who couldn't make the trip. You can even stop by the Bigfoot store to pick up a t-shirt or two, and you never know who you might run into at the register. When you come to the peaceful side, you'd better be hungry. We are so lucky to have some of the best food in Tennessee right here. Let me show you one of my favorites. The Peaceful Side Social. This place has incredible sandwiches, pizza, and the best tacos and guac in town. You can even bring your dog, and my favorite, live music set against the backdrop of the Smokies. I like to wrap up next door at the Peaceful Side Creamery for homemade ice cream and lots of it. Do Did you know that the Peaceful Side is home to some pretty cool secrets? At the Tuckaleechee Caverns, the greatest site under the Smokies, in addition to finding amazing underground caves and waterfalls, you can also find the most sensitive seismic station on Earth. In fact, a visit here will uncover secrets about the Cuban Missile Crisis and even nuclear testing. Our local folklore also includes a few mostly true stories about some special groups of people who once called this area home. Have you ever heard of the mystical Moon-Eyed people, who may only come out at night? Or the Melungeon, who may or may not be descendants of the lost colony of Roanoke? And one reclusive resident of our Smokies is so popular that he even has his own festival every May. I'll give you a hint, he wears some really big shoes. There are so many secrets on our Peaceful Side, and we can't wait to share them with you.